Greetings, people of the interwebs. All right, it's Dan here. I knew that I said I was going to take a break from wrestling content, but so much for that, right? But I know that this is my first upload in about a month, but it's just going to be audio for this one because this is a massive piece of wrestling news that I knew I just had to break, because it's probably the biggest piece of news to come out of WWE in the last several months. It looks like spring/summer cleaning made a big splash in WWE this time around, as about an hour or two ago, it was confirmed by WWE themselves that cruiserweight competitor, former NXT alum, and WWE superstar and 205 Live superstar Austin Aries was in fact released. He was released, confirmed by WWE. They gave the future endeavors message on WWE.com, confirming the news and releasing the news of Austin Aries' release from his contract from the WWE. But now, here is the even more shocking part. The even more shocking part that I just found out through various sources and through Twitter and things like that, is that Austin Aries did in fact request his release from the WWE. Apparently he was extremely unhappy with things such as positioning within the company, creative positioning. He was upset with opportunities that he thought he was going to get that he was not getting. So I completely understand Austin Aries requesting his release in this case. I feel like he has a completely viable reason to request his release in this case from the WWE. And, honestly, I had a feeling that this move to 205 Live was really going to mess up his WWE career, man. I felt like he would have been a lot better if he would have just come off of that eye injury that he got from Nakamura. If he would have just come back to NXT once he recovered, I feel like he would have done just fine. I don't feel like you had to move him to the Cruiserweight division, but I feel like WWE purely moved him to the Cruiserweight division out of necessity for not having that big name in that Cruiserweight division. So I feel like pretty much ever since that injury to his eye, to his orbital bone by Nakamura, when his orbital bone got shattered from the Kinshasa knee by Nakamura, his career pretty much started to go downhill from that point forward. And again, like I said, I was not in agreement by any means with his move to 205 Live when it was first speculated that he would be moving to 205 Live. I knew that he could be a major contender for the NXT Championship, and who knows, if he would have gone back to NXT, he could have been a contender for the NXT Championship. He could have been up there with the Nakamuras and the Rudes and the Roderick Strongs and the Hideo Itamis and, all these other, people in NXT that are doing big things and going after the NXT Championship. He could have been up there. He could have been there wrestling matches against guys like Drew McIntyre or Eric Young. Could you imagine, just the rematch or like a matchup of two TNA darlings in Eric Young and Austin Aries? Or could you imagine a matchup between Roderick Strong and Austin Aries, two small, compact fighters going at it? But unfortunately, no, that will not be the case, because Austin Aries has now been released by the WWE, confirmed an hour or two ago by WWE.com themselves, so it came straight from the horse's mouth. At this point, what can you expect from Austin Aries? All I can say is I am expecting him to probably go to either New Japan or Ring of Honor. I do not see him going back to TNA or GFW or Impact or whatever the fuck they're being called now. Fuck that owl. That's all I can say. But I do not see him going to TNA. I only see him going to one of two wrestling organizations, either Ring of Honor or New Japan Pro Wrestling, while working dates for the PWGs and like Rev Pro and Progress throughout those. And who knows, he could even work some Evolve dates. And you know that Evolve is heavily involved with the WWE. I have heard some people tweeting that WWE could be maybe trying to do something similar to what happened with Daniel Bryan, but trust me, in a case like this, and what they mean by similar to what happened to Daniel Bryan is that they release him and then bring him back later in the year, but for other main roster purposes. But in this case, it was Austin Aries requesting his release, not the company releasing the wrestler. So that meant that the wrestler was unhappy. That means that the wrestler does not want to come back. And honestly, I don't mean to sound like WWE here, but I genuinely do wish Austin Aries all the best in his future endeavors. That's about all for this breaking wrestling news video. Like I said, I know I was going to try to take a break from the wrestling content, but I had to break this story. Austin Aries, former 205 Live superstar, former NXT alum, and former WWE superstar, now former WWE superstar, officially released from his WWE contract as of earlier today. Thank you guys so much for listening into this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. You guys are the real MVPs. Keep yourselves safe. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you at a later date. Farewell.